Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back for another week of reading. So, this week we're going to start a new author study of Nate the Great by Marjorie Weinman Charmot. Nate is a detective like Cam Jansen, and just like the Cam books, the Nate books are realistic fiction. That means that there is nothing fake in them, but they didn't actually happen either. They come from the imagination of the author. The problem in a mystery is always the mystery that needs to be solved. The detectives that solve the mystery look for clues. When they solve it, that is the resolution. Today, I want to teach you about some new words. The first word is international. International is an adjective, and that means involving two or more countries. Nate's friend Rosamond is in Sweden, which is another country. If Nate takes the case she sends him, then it will be an international case. He is in the United States of America, and the case is in Sweden. This involves two countries. International means two or more countries are involved in something. The second word here is magnifying. Magnifying is an adjective or a verb that means to make bigger. The root word is magnify. Nate the Great got a magnifying glass. When you hold the magnifying glass over a picture or words, it makes that part look bigger. Scientists use different tools to magnify items to look at them. They might need to make teeny tiny things look so much bigger, just so they can see them. Magnify means to make something bigger. So, we're going to start with Nate the Great saves the King of Sweden. I can start thinking about the mystery before I even read. I know that Nate is the detective. The King of Sweden is a real person who lives in another country and is a real king. But I don't know how a little boy detective can save a king in another country. I'm going to have to read on to find out. So today we're going to read the first section of Nate the Great Saves the King of Sweden. Although this book is very long, it's not actually divided into chapters. That was a choice that the author made. So let's read the first section together. I, Nate the Great, am a detective. My dog Sledge helps me. I solve easy cases and hard cases. Sometimes I solve strange cases, especially for Rosamond. But this summer, Rosamond was in Scandinavia. There would not be any strange cases to solve. That is what I, Nate the Great, thought until I looked in my mailbox. Pause here to reread this page by yourself. I found a big picture postcard from Rosamond. The picture was of a palace. So far, so good. There was a message from Rosamond. Dear Nate, I was in Norway. Now I am in Sweden. I was in this palace today. I did not see the king. I did not see a detective. I lost something on my trip. I don't know where. I need your help. If you don't help me, I will have to ask. Pause here to reread this page by yourself. The King of Sweden to take the case. Rosamond. P.S. What I lost is very tiny and works only at night. It lives in dark places. It looks smart like you and thinks hard like you, but it has a very long nose, so it probably thinks through its nose instead of its head. But I'm not sure about that. Rosamond was even stranger in Scandinavia than she was at home. Pause again. I, Nate the Great, could not take a case that was thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away. I threw Rosamond's card in the wastebasket. Pause here. The next day, I got another card. Here are the rules. If you don't take the case, call Sweden. Ask for Rosamond. If you take the case, you don't have to call Rosamond. P.S. If you don't take the case, I will hire that king. I will call him up. I will send him cards. I will knock on his palace door. I will get him. I stared at Rosamond's card. There was a nice stamp on it. There was a man's picture on the stamp. Pause now. He looked like a king. He did not look like anyone who would want to be hired by Rosamond. I began to think, this could be my biggest case yet. It was international. Pause here. Rosamond had lost something in a foreign country, maybe in a palace. Maybe I could even save the King of Sweden from Rosamond. I wrote a note to my mother. Dear Mother, somebody lost something in Scandinavia. I'm going to find it. I will not leave the neighborhood. I will be back. Love, Nate the Great. Pause here. This case was a big blank. Rosamond had not sent her address. I did not know what she lost or when she lost it or what country she lost it in. How could I even begin? I decided to start at Annie's house. Annie and Rosamond are good friends. Sledge and I went to Annie's house. Annie was out front with her dog, Fang. I am on a case, I said. Rosamond lost something, somewhere in Scandinavia. What do you know about her trip? Pause here. I helped her pack, Annie said. What did she pack? I asked. Was it anything that looked smart and had a long nose? Fang looked up. He thought I was talking about him. Pause now. Annie said Rosamond took clothes, shoes, boots for hiking in the mountains, toothbrush and paste, a hairbrush, and toys for her cats. Rosamond took her cats to Scandinavia? Yes, she said that the fish taste better over there. What she lost does not sound like anything that she packed. She packed in a strange way, Annie said. She had a special place for everything. She put her left boot on the left side of the suitcase. Pause here. And her right boot on the right side. She put her cat's toy mice in her shoes. Why? She said her shoes could be like mice holes for the mice. They're home. Want to hear more? Not if I can help it, I said. Pause again. Tell me, has Rosamond written to you? Well, last week I got this photo from Norway. Annie pulled a picture from her pocket. I looked at it. I saw Rosamond and her 4 cats. They were standing in front of a store. It looked like a gift shop, and there were t-shirts and mugs and little figures in the store window. Rosamond and her cats were all wearing t-shirts. Pause again. Printed on every shirt was Norge, Kaiserleit, Rosamond. I turned the picture over. On the back, Rosamond had written, "This means Norway loves Rosamond." Annie said, Rosamond told me that she was going to buy, pause, t-shirts and have something printed on them. Aha, I said. Since Rosamond didn't lose something she packed, she must have lost something she bought. Do you have her address? No, she keeps moving around. May I borrow this picture? Sure, Annie said. Can you find out why Norway loves Rosamond? I, Nate the Great, would need 1,000,000 years to find one clue. Sludge and I went home. I got my magnifying glass. I looked at the photo Annie got from Rosamond. Pause again. I looked at the little figures in the store window. They were trolls. They had very long noses and hair like a mop. All right, boys and girls, that's where we're going to stop for today. And I know you're so excited to find out what happens, but I have a challenge for you for your journal writing this week. We're going to write a summary of the most important events in our story. So the topic sentence this week is, this week we read Nate the Great Saves the King of Sweden. After you write that topic sentence, you will add 2 sentences to tell me what happened first and next in the story. When I think about this story, I might say that Rosamond asked Nate the Great to help her solve a case. That might be what I say happened first. And then if I try and think about what happened next, I might say that Nate the Great went to Rosamond's friend to see if he could find some new clues. And Annie was trying to help him. After we read tomorrow, you will add what happens then and last, so you make sure you watch all of the videos this week. Then on Thursday, you will watch the final section of our Nate the Great book and write a conclusion. And then that means you will have an entire 5-paragraph essay written. And I know you're going to do your best job to write all 5 sentences. Bye, boys and girls.